Gentlemen, welcome back to Mids from the middle of the Midwest, slightly new format. Thank you for indulging us. Today, we're going to talk about the world's newest pastime, perhaps an old pastime, violence. We've been doing this series of segments about the social dimensions of the ramifications of the hollowing out of the sexual marketplace, how there is a massive, massive economic impact to that. On top of that, there are huge political impacts, which we suspect and are predicting will unequivocally be negative for women, at least insofar as they're not going to have the rights that they possess right now. They're not going to have them in perpetuity. That's our prediction. We've laid it out if you've been watching these segments. In that theme, we've expressed the notion that when men do not have sex, they have violence. Men who are not participating in the sexual marketplace need some sort of outlet, and porn and video games and drugs have filled in the gaps. I know that video games and things like marijuana are like these real bugaboos in terms of easy things to point to talk about how men are wasting their lives because they're just sitting around playing video games, and they fail to recognize that there's no point in responsibility without sex. There's no point in responsibility without status. There's no point in doing any of these other things that used to make sense if there's no reward. So sitting at home playing video games and watching porn seems logical. And as I've argued, that the effects of porn are starting to wear off, not because we think men will stop using it, just the need for reality is going to be too strong at a certain point. You're already starting to see that. And I also suspect that these upticks in violence, whether they're social or political, is also reflecting this effect of porn wearing off. This is why I say violence is the world's new pastime. If you're not participating in the economy and you're not participating in the sexual marketplace and you're getting tired of porn, or how many hours a day can you spend watching porn? Now, maybe that's a loaded question because I'm sure that there's quite a few who can say several. But if you're seeing all of these things wear off and you don't have a family to be in charge of, you don't have a girlfriend to work with to build a life together, you don't have a meaningful job, why wouldn't you be out in the streets? Why wouldn't you be plotting and scheming and trying to figure out how to disrupt this world order that has been doing you no favors and probably blames you for everything? It just doesn't surprise me that men are finding that violence makes more sense to them than pretending that they're getting anything out of this society where everything is stacked against them. So when you see tragic shootings, big time protests all over the world. I suppose a lot of those could be like secretly funded by billionaires, but it's also going in a lot of different directions. On top of that, as far as I know, the lone gunmen showing up at schools, I think those statistics are still going pretty strong. I'm just not surprised. It follows this follow on principle, pardon the stumbling over my words. It follows this sequence of the principle of when men do not have sex, they have violence. These men who are not dedicated to careers and not able to be dedicated to families or meaningful jobs or any legitimate pursuit of status, they have a lot of time on their hands. They are extremely angry and they have nothing to lose. It only makes sense, whether you like it or not, that they are out in the streets doing whatever they can to cause havoc. We should expect more of this so long as the other ways in which we expect young men to be spending their time have been foreclosed to them. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and final thought. You could theoretically divide this between left and right, that you have Antifa on one side and, I don't know, Pepe the Frog on the other, and that you'll see this future clash between these two. I won't rule it out. Whether it remains political in a legitimate ideological sense or not, it is always sexual. And the more it happens, even if it's one man fighting against another, you're going to see the impact on female behavior. Female behavior always looks at what men are doing and follows. They don't follow along that they necessarily imitate, but they go where the men are going. The men are going towards violence. Where do we expect the women to go? Take care.